Again, thanks everybody for joining this webinar. My name is Kevin Emanuel. I'm the VP of Sales here at PMsquare. And I'm super excited to welcome all of you to this webinar where we're not only making a big partnership announcement, but we're also going to be showcasing some really neat AI concepts and capabilities that I believe are truly groundbreaking. So welcome again, and thanks for joining. Now, as all of you know, with PMsquare being a data-first cloud company, our focus has always been on data, analytics, application transformation, and cloud solution delivery. And of course, over the past couple of years, you guessed it, we've been having a big focus on AI and the ways that we can leverage AI-centric solutions to help our customers elevate their data strategy, improve processes, and create efficiency across their business. With that, I'm happy to announce that we finalized a partnership with Stability.ai as our primary AI vendor for image, audio, and speech recognition, creation, enhancement, and storage. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Why Stability? What is it? How does it work? And how does it apply to different industries? And to help me do that, I also have Ken Hoge from Stability on the call with me as well to help present some of these this content and also share his own personal perspective on this topic as well. Welcome, Ken. Want to give you a quick minute to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your role at Stability.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kevin. So my name's Ken Hoge. I am the Global Alliance Director at Stability. I work with our distribution partners, such as AWS, IBM, and Azure, which were listed on a previous slide. And I work very closely with our SI partners, such as PMsquare. And I'm really excited to kind of share what we're seeing in the media generation market for Gen AI, where we're seeing customers use this product and how we could potentially partner with any opportunities to help you and your teams out.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. And if you could actually go back one slide before we get into this partnership and talk more about Stability, I do want to take a couple minutes and talk about who we are as a company for those of you on the call who may not be familiar with us, just to really highlight why this partnership with Stability is really going to work well for us. So first and foremost, again, being a data-first cloud company, what we do for our customers is we help them across their entire data and application transformation lifecycle. What that really means in the simplest forms is that we help you take your data from its current state. We help you build the modern data architecture that you need, the data pipelines that are required, the applications that are necessary to really deliver to the business what they need, which is insight from their data and solutions for what they need in order to be able to run their business effectively. And of course, across all of that, we have a managed services team that keeps the lights on, make sure there is stability, security, both throughout the project and also after the project on an ongoing basis. On the right side here, you'll see that we have 5 primary ways that we go to market. First and foremost, we have our advisory group. This is really a group that helps our customers get off the ground with any new transformative initiatives they may have, across data, analytics, Gen AI. Really, if you need to kind of do something that's transformative to your business and you just don't know where to start, we have a group that can come in there, help you with that, and help you build a roadmap and get you off the ground there. Implementation of specific solutions that you may have, we can come in and help you with that. Managed service and FinOps, as I mentioned, we do have a team that's globally optimized and can help support those efforts on an ongoing basis, 24/7. If you simply just need some expertise with certain technologies, we do have the ability to just offer you resources that can help augment your team with additional skills. And then lastly, we have our innovations team within our iLab group, where we're constantly generating new solutions and bringing new content to market, really showcasing how technology can add value to different organizations within different verticals and so forth, and really kind of help you, again, get off the ground with POCs, POVs, really understanding how we can help your help your organization reach new heights. At the bottom right there, you'll see the industries that are served within our expertise there: financial services, healthcare and pharma, higher education, media and entertainment, as well as manufacturing and supply chain. And then at the bottom left there, you'll see our technology partners. Now, of course, being a data and analytics company, we work with a lot of different technologies. these are some of the vendors that we have strategic partnerships with that really lead our efforts. From a cloud perspective, we lead with AWS. That's our cloud provider of choice. So that's one of the reasons that this partnership with Stability works really well, because of their tight partnership with AWS as well. And then we have skills across Azure and IBM as well for some of those technologies. And of course, the newest logo that you see on here is Stability.ai, which is really the topic of conversation today. So we'll talk a bit more about kind of what Stability is and how it works, but just wanted to give some context as to where it fits within the larger picture. And if you go to the next slide, Ken, there are kind of 4 different value propositions or areas where I think makes this partnership a very unique and good partnership for us moving forward. First and foremost, we have shared vision with Stability. Right? Stability is all about creativity, and creativity that fuels innovation. In fact, I'll read the tagline here from the website directly. It's to unlock global creativity, innovation, and productivity. Right? And here at PMsquare, we're always about using creative ways to use technology and helping our customers reach new heights as well. Whether it's through creative solution design, innovative approaches to content development, or the out-of-the-box creative thinking that's needed to solve technical problems, creativity really sits at the forefront of everything that we do. And Stability is only going to add to that principle for us. Second, it's the synergies that we have, right, between the 2 organizations. Again, with PMsquare being a cloud company, our customers are always dealing with large amounts of data. And that data sometimes comes in the form of image, audio, or video. So we've already taken it upon ourselves to develop solutions that can help with content compression, enhancement, and storage using Stability as the AI engine in the backend. Third, we talked about AWS, the tight partnership that Stability has with them, right? As I mentioned earlier, AWS is our cloud provider of choice, and Stability's tight partnership with AWS and the availability of the foundation models on AWS allows us to be able to easily use Stability as the AI engine for the solutions that we develop and deliver to our clients. And lastly, it's a matter of community. Stability has over 300,000 creators, developers, and researchers, and over 10 million global users. That number is probably even higher than that since I took the stat, but 10 million global users, right? And again, at PMsquare, we're all about creating and giving back to the community as well. We're constantly creating and sharing new content with our customers and a larger community via social media, our newsletter that goes out on a regular basis, our YouTube channel that has over 100,000 views, and the community that we've created with our strategic partners, as we talked about before as well. So those are kind of 4 areas that I think really add to this partnership and what really makes this partnership a great one. And we kind of look forward to working with Stability and bringing more of these solutions to the market. So with that said, Ken, I'm going to hand things over to you to talk more about Stability itself, maybe touch on some use cases and share more of your perspective on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you for the kind words about Stability. I feel very strongly about the synergies between our companies as well, and the opportunity to help customers transform the way that they're doing business and drive value. So today I will cover an overview of Stability, who we are as a company. I'll talk about some of the products specifically. I'll talk about some of the industries that we've been working closely with, and then I'll kind of go into some specific use cases and customer success. So Stability.ai has been around for about 3 years, and our goal is to be the leader in open generative AI. And so there's some importance of having open source models, which I'll talk about the next company. But basically, in the last 1.5 years, we've come out with a lot of different models, which I will also talk about. So as the industry starts to go from the consumer base, which is where AI was really last year, into the enterprise, there's a lot of different things that enterprises care about. So it's important that our models are open. So companies can know what data they're being trained on, they can expect it, they can inspect them, they can build customized use cases. Because a lot of times when we're working with customers, it's not just looking to create an image, it's looking to manipulate an image or update an image and change an image. So it's important that we are open to be able to integrate into customers' workflows. Number two is multimodal. So having kind of like a one-stop shop for all of these different modalities is very important. And then lastly is starting to localize models. So as we continue to come out with various models, we're localizing them for different parts of the world, tailoring them to each specific market. So our goal is to become the default AI operating system for every market in every sector. But again, our focus is on the models. Where it comes to engaging the community and working with enterprise customers, that's where we leverage our partners like PMsquare to come up with the solutions necessary to drive business value. So from a modality perspective, some people may know Stability.ai from our flagship product, Stable Diffusion. So Stable Diffusion was released last year, and approximately 80% of all AI images created were created from Stable Diffusion. We are super happy to most recently announce SD3. So Stable Diffusion 3 will be out very soon on our API, and I will talk about the features in that later in the presentation. We also have a leading video model, we have a leading audio model, and we have a leading 3D model. We have speech models coming, we have some science models coming, but if you want to really know like what is Stability's core competencies, it is in the media generation space. So first off, talking about the product, so Stable Diffusion XL is a state-of-the-art text-to-image model. So this has been out for about 6 months, which is like a couple years in Gen AI terms, but this has been a great model for us, and it has allowed us to get a really strong foothold in market share and creativity in the market. And so a key thing for us being open source is that providing these types of models out into the communities, there's a lot of smart developers out there that are doing some amazing things with Stable Diffusion. What I'm really excited to talk about that today is Stable Diffusion 3. So Stable Diffusion 3, when I think about the kind of maturity of the various modalities in Gen AI, first off, you think kind of large language models. Large language models are to the point now where a lot of enterprises are starting to adopt them. There's really strong use cases and really they're enterprise ready. Stable Diffusion 3 is enterprise ready from an image perspective. So it is really good at multi-subject prompting. So if you want one person on one side of the image, one person on the other side, maybe an apple on the table, it's great at that. The image quality has gone much better. So you think about things that traditional image models have had with like, hands or certain things kind of looking funny. Stable Diffusion 3 is amazing for that. And lastly is spelling. Folks who know image models, they know that spelling might come out incorrectly. We've done a great job with from a spelling perspective. So showing a couple of different examples of the product is super cool. So we're working with folks who work for t-shirt design companies, right? You can train a model on their specific font or their specific designs to be able to iterate on new designs very quickly. But what we're seeing in the market in the enterprise space is there's a lot of times where customers are not necessarily looking to create an image, they're looking to potentially also edit an image. So this is where we have what we call stable image services. So a good way to think of this is like image to image generative AI. So a customer can take an image, depending on what use case or what need they may want, they can manipulate or change that image to get the desired output. So what I'll talk about are a few different ones that we have here today. So the first one is called upscaling, and essentially this upgrades image quality. So a use case, this was recently we were working with a customer who has a website that they're looking to put a ton of images out there for various points of interest. Well, to get those images, they have to kind of go pay for it. There's a long process that they would have to do for it. Well, they actually already have a lot of these images existing in their files, but they're just low quality. So we're able to work with them to vastly increase the quality of the images that they're able to put on their website and their application to drive the customer experience that they want. Number two is change and remove background. So for product placement companies, shoe companies, car companies, really any product placement company, they might have an existing ad that they already have in place, and they may want to localize it for a specific region. So I happen to be from Colorado. You could take an image of a G-Wagon, in a desert and say that you want it in Colorado, and all of a sudden you have a new localized targeted ad for that specific region. Another one is outpainting. So the way that I like to think of this is like uncropping a photo for companies with multiple platforms or aspect ratios. So we're working with a large multinational company recently, and they have all of these different platforms all over the world, and their challenge is that it is costly and time consuming for various developers to fit their different advertisements to different aspect ratios here. So here you can see we have an image here, and essentially we outpainted it or uncropped it to fill out the rest of the area. And this is where we're seeing a lot of use for customers globally. So before I dive into the specific use cases, the one thing that I like to talk about the stable image services in general is we are developing these services based off of feedback from our customers and our community. There's so many things that you can do with AI from manipulating image perspective. So if something went off in your head today and you think that there's a use case that there may be some value to your team in helping out, please let us know. We love talking to customers. We love talking about new use cases, and we work closely to develop our new products. So the use cases I'll talk about here starting off is with advertising and marketing. So this is more of creating a image or iterating on images. So we're working with marketing teams to quickly change models, change ethnicities, change clothes, change clothing to allow for like hyper personalization of advertisement content. Or there might be some things where you have a picture and it has something in it that you don't want. Well, you can easily mask and remove that. Moving on to media and entertainment. Media and entertainment, if you think about where the maturity of all of the Gen AI modalities are, the image model is really great. The video models are coming along, but they're coming along very quickly. But where we're seeing the uses in media and entertainment is in the ideation space. So if you have a creative team that is looking to storyboard, we have new tools that essentially you can type in a short prompt, you can get out a bunch of pictures, you can pick which pictures you want, you can string them together with an LLM, really just pushing along and allowing creators to get the idea that's inside of their head out quickly and communicating it to their team fast. So we're working with large gaming companies to create new characters or scenes. And it's really, on this augmenting creative teams. We're working with a lot of customers in the gaming and metaverse space. So creating new characters, new world scenes, localizing content and assets, and then adding text and words to images. So here's an example of our 3D model where we're working with some gaming companies to be able to create new characters very quickly and enhance the end customer and user experience of their platforms. So switching from specific like industry level use cases to actual case studies, first I will talk about an online education company. So this online education company has hundreds of thousands of students, and this is actually a really cool and powerful story. So for their K through 4 students, as part of their lessons planning, they're actually using this to create storyboards for the kids. So the kids can say that I want a dog running through the park chasing a red ball, and that short input will go into a language model. This language model will output a story that can then be segmented into 10 separate pieces, and each separate piece would get their own image. So as a thing that they could take home from the class that day is they created a story that they saw in their head. So not only are kids creating things like this, but they're learning how to use AI, and I just think that is super cool and super powerful. So storyboarding is a big one, and this is actually a really cool use case for it. Number two is for a retail company. So using our products to remove certain content or replace certain content is very, very easily. So we are highly integrated into their workflows to be able to take existing models that they have and put on new clothes or put on new assets to vastly scale out how fast and how quickly these teams are able to make content. And then from there, they can do hyper personalization of these advertisements based off of data that they have on these users. We are working closely with a web hosting company. So using SDXL to allow their customers to create new content for their website. So individual creators, they might have a certain way that their brand wants to look, their website wants to look. They're able to use SDXL to quickly iterate on the ideas that they have into their head. And so we're integrated into this customer's platform. And then as well as they're doing additional services for these small businesses where they're able to create new customer logos or create stickers. And then for reference, these are, this is just another stable image service that we have created. So it's super cool. And to kind of close out my part of the presentation, I would just like to share like where we are as a company is we want to be focused on providing great models and great technology. So as we come across, these real world examples, we need to be working very closely with partners like PMsquare to be able to integrate into customers' business processes and workflows. And so once again, I just want to thank everyone for your time today. Hopefully you maybe got something out of it, learned something new about generative AI. And so I will pass it to Kevin about how you can kind of get involved if you have something in your head.
Very cool. Yeah, thanks, Ken, for that. It's all these use cases are just so amazing, right? It's almost like there's so many ways to visualize your thoughts these days using these technologies, and Stability is a good way to do that. So thanks for that presentation. So with that said, for everyone on the call, just some ways to kind of get started, right? So we know what the technology is, we know how it works. What now? How do we take the next step? And in order to really help our customers kind of get that launching pad and understand how they can take advantage of some of these capabilities, is we have an offering called an ideation workshop. So if you have ideas, around these concepts, around these use cases, and you just don't know where to start, this is exactly how we help you do that. So an ideation workshop is a complimentary, collaborative 4-hour consulting engagement where we come to you, we sit around, we get various different members of your team involved, and we just ideate for this period, talk about ways that we can help you explore some of these concepts when it comes to AI using Stability and other related technologies. So if you have some ideas and you just want to run them past us, I encourage all of you guys to reach out to us. We can maybe start with an initial conversation, and then if it makes sense, we can set up an ideation workshop, whether it's done remotely or on site, and go through some of these things with you guys. And if you go to the next slide, I believe I have our contact info available for everyone. Yeah, and if you guys want to just reach out to me directly, my contact information is there. I also encourage you to subscribe to our newsletters. And you can do that by scanning the barcode that you see on the screen right there, and also follow us on social media. Like I said, we put out a lot of really good content. All of these webinars that we conduct are always available on our YouTube channel as well. So stay engaged with us and let us know how we can kind of help partner with you guys in some of these concepts. Now, with that said, I've been monitoring the poll, and there are no questions that are coming in. So I just want to remind everyone on the call, if you have any questions, please do post them in the Q&A, and we'll give it another couple of minutes here before our time's up. I'd be happy to answer any questions that come through. Let's see if we have any brave souls to give us some questions. All right. Ken, I've got one question for you right here. All right, so they say one of the big concerns of many of my clients is possibly security risks passing proprietary data to Gen AI. Is there an on-prem offering to mitigate the risk, or at least the concern?
That is a great question, and it is a very valid question. So as you're working with some of these other vendors in the AI space that are known as proprietary models, essentially you are pinging their API. And when you do that, you are also giving them your data. So for us here, we have a couple different ways that we work with customers from a hosting perspective. Number one is we work on Bedrock, we work on SageMaker, and when that data goes, to Bedrock, it stays in the customer's VPC and it does not go to Stability based off of how the models are being hosted. We do work with customers and we can set up agreements where if they will work with our API directly, like we won't do anything with their data. But what I'm finding is that customers really want to know that they own their data and it's not going anywhere. So we have options for customers to self-host. The big thing of Stability being open source. So lots of customers that are doing self-hosting of SDXL that are using our models in internal workflows that are fairly straightforward to set up. And that's where we work with the teams like at PMsquare to engage the customer. So that is actually becoming more and more relevant in the industry. And yeah, that was a great question.
Awesome, thanks for that, Ken. We got one other question here that came through. Can you talk about the use cases for upscaling, downscaling images from a storage and storage cost perspective, i.e., could you downscale images for storage and upscale them to retrieval using Stability? How much storage saving would be realistic with that? So I'll let you go first, and then I'll add to that as well, Ken, because since we do have some solutions built around that.
I actually am going to push it back on you, Kevin. And
all right. Fantastic. No, we actually have developed some solutions. That's a great question. So this is a use case that we've come across a couple of times now, and we actually built solutions here that sit on AWS with Stability AI as the engine, AI engine in the back end that helps you do exactly that, right? So you can take images that may be, high profile images, high resolutions, downscale them for storage purposes. So you essentially take out the noise and certain components of it. To reduce the size, to in some cases 1/10 or 1/100th of the size of the original file, to store them, and then when you're ready to retrieve that, again, you can upscale it back to its original resolution, or in some cases even better resolution than the original document. So there's certainly ways to do that, and we've actually built a solution around that will very soon be available on the AWS marketplace for consumption as well. Great question.
You nailed it, Kevin.
Awesome. So, well, looks like we're a minute past our allotted time. So I do want to thank everyone for joining this webinar. Thanks again, Ken, for the presentation. Again, I encourage all of you to reach out to us if there are any questions you want to run past us. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.